Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Welcome back, Thinking Game Podcast, episode 50.
50, 50. Halfway
50.
to 100.
All right,
A
all right.
100.
50 cent.
Boy.
All right. We almost have made that dollar.
Yeah,
What we
so
going to talk about today?
we're going to talk about a couple things today. But I think the first thing, the tip of the day to
Tip.
the youth, tip of the day is most people, you ask them something, and they either give you an answer or they give you the I don't know. We want to say to the youth, don't make I don't know your answer.
It's not an acceptable answer. There's nothing.
Some people
They
think it
basically
is.
just said nothing to you.
Right. Because if you don't know, get the information, think your way through it until you know.
Find out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If you were at a job, you know what I mean? It's your responsibility to do something,
Right.
and your boss, superior, or even your employees, if you're a
Right.
business owner, they ask you something, where my money at? And you say, I don't know.
Yeah. And you know the oxymoron? When people say you think you know everything, and then if you don't know, they'll play you like, oh, now you don't know nothing now. So it's like, where do you stand? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the
Oxymoron,
middle ground?
like a dumb genius.
Yeah.
Stuff that don't go together.
If I know something, I know everything. But if I don't know nothing now, you know what I'm saying, I'm not smart. And that's why people act like they know everything, because it's like an oxymoron. If you don't, you can't say you don't know.
I mean, somebody gonna have something negative to say.
Oh, yeah,
if
definitely.
you feel like you know it all, you're arrogant, right?
Right.
If you don't know, you're ignorant. You need to be more confident in the things you do know.
I think that's the thing too. Like, arrogant confidence. Do you think people get that confused?
I mean, I think it's a fine line. If they like you, you're
Yeah.
confident.
Oh yeah.
If they don't like you, you're
You're
arrogant.
arrogant,
You know what I
right.
mean? Like you ask
That's
me a
true.
question, I know, and I give you the answer. You don't like me, so he arrogant. He act like he know everything.
But I think
But you came to me.
there are personalities though that, like, I guess if we had like a metric scale, some people are confident or arrogant and stuff. But if you put them in other situations, that confident, arrogant goes away. Like, they may be confident to be sarcastic, or confident to be to act like they better than somebody. But if you put them in a room in an interview, now they're not confident and arrogant no more. Now they nervous.
People are confident or arrogant in their comfort zones.
Yeah.
You know, when you get them out of their environment or their
Yes.
element, you
Yes.
know what I mean, that all that confidence like dwindles away.
And what I would say-
Sometimes it's a front or facade.
What I would say is, don't even have a comfort zone. Be ready for anything at any time.
Yeah, get comfortable with that. You know what I mean?
Because if you live inside of a box, you can easily be the game will change for you real fast. So break that box open and just don't have a box.
And I got a question. You guys let us know, what's the difference between confidence
Yes.
and arrogance?
Yes.
Is it good, bad, ugly?
Yeah.
You know,
Can you know how to turn it on? Sometimes you gotta turn it on. Sometimes you gotta turn it off. Some people turn it on and break the switch, and you stuck on arrogance.
exactly.
And some
Sometimes
people know how
you
to
got
use it in different situations. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Sometimes you got to be humble. Like you know what
Yeah.
I mean. You got to be confident with your answer. And then they tell you it's wrong. You got to kind of eat that
Right.
and be like, oh well, that was my mistake. I thought it was
Or
this.
you can apply it in the wrong situation. Like, you're confident enough to, get a gun and shoot somebody, but you're not confident enough to fill out for a job that you think you're not qualified for, that you may be qualified for.
Yeah, that's that comes.
You know what I'm saying?
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I do a drive by. You know, I
Boy.
spin the block, but
Boy.
taking care of my kids. I can't do that.
Yeah. So moving to our next topic. This is another tip for youth, middle age, even grown-ups. You have to be smart enough in life to know who is who.
Yeah, discernment.
Yeah.
Who's a friend? Who's a
Yeah.
foe? Who's an ally? Who's temporary?
Boy.
Who's permanent?
Right.
You got to know that. You know what I mean? Some people aren't, here for the long ride.
Right. And so you think about, was it Gunna, right? The Gunna, the rapper.
Oh,
Snitched
yes,
on,
yes.
Young Thug, right? And we talked about this on a earlier podcast. I don't know what number it was, but the thing was, if Young Thug was doing stuff like he a legend, why even be in the car with somebody like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, why even put yourself in a position to get rounded up by the feds like that?
I mean, that's the lifestyle. You know
Yeah.
what they're confident doing. Like they
But I'm
have
saying
expertise
but
in it.
if you know me,
Yeah.
like if you know me and you know I'm out here reckless, you probably not gonna ride with me. Like, all right, man, I catch you. I'll meet you over there.
But yeah, we
But
talk
because
about
I'm in a Maybach, though, I guess you want to ride with him or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then he ended up snitching, man, because he couldn't do that time, man.
Yeah, I mean, and snitching is a different thing, but to different people. When you're actively involved in said illegal activities, you're doing them, and then the time come down. You know what I mean? The consequences,
Yeah.
and then now you
But you
wanna
can't
now
preach
you wanna
about being
tell.
real. You can't rap about being real.
Now you
nigga.
wanna tell.
Yeah.
Now, if you had nothing to do with any criminal activity, you know what I mean. You was a witness, bystander, or victim. You know what I mean. You can tell the authorities, but you was there riding. You know what I mean, doing those things. So
And before we really get deep in this, we also want to thank Argenta District Mugs Coffee. I already ate mine. It was like a scone or something like that. And the iced coffee. Thank them for letting us record.
the food is excellent. The drinks are wonderful. The environment is top notch.
Yeah.
Really, really friendly staff.
Yep. When
Good
we
service.
asked them to record. They said no problem. Sure, you can record. Nothing but love and admiration for this place. And if you want some coffee, you should stop by. Really nice, laid back place. They even got kitty chairs, so you can bring your kids too. So
Get friendly.
Bugs Coffee Cafe in Argenta District, north of the Rock.
If you want to sit and eat, sit and eat. If you want to just stop in and grab a quick coffee,
Yeah.
in and out, quick service.
And somebody like me that's like a little kid, I like my stuff sweet. They can make it sweet for you too. I'm not the cowboy. I'm not John Wayne. I can't drink that, that cowboy coffee, man.
That's me.
They got the grain in it a little bit. Man.
All black.
So when we think about knowing who is who, being able to learn about others without actually saying nothing, you just watching and observing without trying to bust people out. Because sometimes if you bust somebody out, they're not going to show you nothing no more. They're not going to show you their hand no more. Like if a person is a manipulator and you see him manipulating people, and you say, man, you a manipulator. He's not going to show you that no more. He's going to hide it from you. But if you learn how to observe, not from a judgmental position, but from taking in data. How about that? Taking in data. It's like, okay, this is what I'm dealing with. I got the data.
And
Now you can make informed decisions. I can't deal with him on this level because it's going to cause tension or it's going to cause something that I don't feel like dealing with. It's not worth the cost of dealing with it.
And you can put them in a section. There are
Right.
individuals like he goes here, she goes there,
Right.
and they go there.
And guess what? When you think about who's who, sometimes when you go through that process of knowing who you want to be around, who you don't want to be around, sometimes people you don't want to be around, they may get mad. They may say, oh, man, you friendly, you this and that. And they don't realize, dude, the data that you have,
your
is
credit,
making this decision.
your
It's making
credit
the
score,
results.
your credit
Right.
history, your
Yeah. It's like learn from a distance. Sometimes you got to learn by watching from a distance. Whether you think about it, now most people are watching other people, you know, and you have to learn from a distance. What do you, most time dudes don't even realize, most women that you meet, they're actually probably watching you from a distance. I mean, it take a lot to talk to a random person that you don't know. I mean, meet somebody that's random. Most people meet people, you think most people meet people they went to school with or they kind of in their vicinity?
yeah.
Like, if you in Southwest, most people meet other people from Southwest. The chances of meeting somebody that's all the way in Sherwood, I mean, it can happen, but the percentages are low.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Most people are comfortable with what they're familiar with. It take a lot to deal with somebody that you're not familiar with and get to know this person and go through the process of knowing this person.
Or even introduce yourself
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
start the whole process of that. You know
Right.
what I mean? But I like new people.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
So,
for
you know,
sure. Because in the corporate world, like we talked about last podcast, the more you move up, the less and less of people that you know that you see. And you have
They
to be
don't look
comfortable
like
with
you.
talking with new people, definitely. Interviewing people that don't look like you. Being able to look down the barrel of the shotgun and answer these questions and not be nervous. You in there sweating like you're in the interrogation room when it's really just an interview, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And, so you got anything else before we move to the next topic? By knowing who is who? Because we could talk about that all day, but
Exactly.
we could
You know
break
what I
that up
mean?
into pieces.
Personal experiences, and that's not only That's personal life and professional
Oh,
life.
definitely, yeah.
Knowing who you're associating with around the office.
Yes.
Knowing getting in certain cliques. You know, you're going to be stereotyped by the people you're hanging with.
Or
you know what
not
I mean?
getting a certain click. You can be
Exactly. You know what I mean? Because
Oh,
they
yeah,
always say
dang.
birds of a feather flock together.
Right. That's
You,
true.
You get in with the messy people, the lazy
Boy.
people, or this and that, the people who come back late from work,
Mm-hmm.
late from break, or things like that. That's personal and professional. You know, knowing who is who.
Right.
You know what
So
I mean?
we'll go
Because
to
if
our
they do
next-
something bad to somebody else, they'll do it to you too.
Yeah, so we'll go to our next topic. Another one is knowing what you're going to do before you do it. Like knowing what you're getting into. Don't just do nothing willy-nilly, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's okay when you're young. You just get into stuff and you're trying to figure stuff out. But as you get older, your thoughts and your decisions have to be more intentional. You have to really think about what you're doing. Because you can't assume anything. It's like people get in the streets. Most people, when they get into the streets, they don't think about, you know, if you get deep in the game, you're looking at 30 years of life, you know. You want to get deep in the drug game. You have to know that before you start.
Yeah.
You can't just start like, I didn't know that.
A lot of people just look at the pros, the good things that could happen
Right.
with this new endeavor. Like,
Because there's so much information out there, too. But that's like knowing there's so much information out there, bro. You think about BMF, right?
yes, sir.
All you got to do is go back and look at the documentary. They peaked.
Yep.
And they also failed, too. You know what I'm saying? And when
Right.
they failed.
Because it was the thing. We just trying to make it, right?
Yeah.
And that's all you like. Well,
Right.
if we do this, we get the success. We get like, well, what happens when you make it to the top? Like, well,
Boy.
we didn't have a plan for this because we.
Yeah.
It was. Is
And
it going to
it's
be
hard
like
to
this
stop 'cause
forever?
you're making
Ever?
millions. It's hard to stop.
You know,
Because you ain't going to generate that kind of money like that just in regular business. You can, but it's real hard. It take a long time to get to that point.
you got to have multiple exit strategies. You
And
got to
then-
have a plan for the success.
Right.
Success can't be the plan.
Yes.
You know what I mean? What happens after
The scale up, right.
the success?
Yeah.
And being intentional, know what you're doing before you do it.
Right.
Success doesn't happen by accident.
It doesn't.
You know what I mean? Some of us, you know what I mean, are discovered, you know, rapping or basketball or
Oh,
something
definitely.
like that. But
Yeah.
even with that, your parents got you in basketball when in Pee Wee League,
Right.
AAU.
Right.
That didn't happen overnight.
Right.
Nothing happens overnight. Well, you know, if you win the lottery,
Right.
you know what I mean. But everything else has to be prepared for, at least planned and thought out. It's, you know, intentional.
Right.
Meeting your wife, your husband, intentional.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. Starting out, saving, intentional.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
And then when you think about, we was talking about making deals and stuff, right? When you do something so over the top, you get out there, you know, when you go to court, the only deal that you have is 20 years or better, if that. Like, this is the only plea deal that you're going to get. And do you want to take it to trial and risk life in prison? Or do you want to take this 30? But you got to think, you may be 25 years old, so you're not going to get out till you're 50. Fair time, you're doing 90% of that. You know what I'm saying?
and you got a whole lot of life to live after 50.
Yes.
So that's a real legitimate question. But you got to ask yourself that before.
Right.
Not when you staring down the barrel of these charges.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know how that feels. I don't know
Man.
what that looks like.
Man.
So we're not saying, you know,
No.
oh, that's an easy decision. No,
Right.
no. We're acknowledging that.
All we're saying is think about that before you make the decision. Factor that into your decision making. Is that what I want to do?
Yeah.
Is that part of it? Because that's part of what's going to happen if you do that. You know, this is or somebody can catch you slipping, put you in the grave, just like that. You know what I'm saying? Because what you don't realize, when you make money, that's like a neon sign. It stands out.
Yeah, and even on the good side, you know what I mean? Taking that 6-figure job.
Yeah.
Are you ready for the new responsibility of that? What's expected when you're given this much money?
Right.
You're going to be in management now. You have 10, 8, 20 people under you now
Right.
that rely on you.
You can be the fall guy. Some go crazy because, you know, you're the top guy. You can be the fall guy. If your department mess up,
Yeah, you're
the
the,
fall
like you
guy.
got three bad apples in your department, but you're
Right.
responsible for them, and they make a decision that costs the company millions.
Right.
That's on you.
Did you hear about that? I think it was on Twitter. It was a legend that it was a guy that was over the health board or something like that. He took allegedly he took Medicaid payments, and they suspended him because
Yeah, I didn't hear
he
about
under
that.
investigation. I just
Yeah.
seen it like across the wire, but it's not about the person. It's about the thinking process of knowing what you're gonna do before you do it.
Exactly.
If he took that money, allegedly, if he took that money, what was he thinking to say, this is okay for me to do? What made him feel comfortable to take the money? Because he probably didn't think, I'm going to get suspended, down the line, I'm going to get suspended. But you know what I'm saying? Or you think about back in the day, before social media, stuff like that probably was happening all the time. And it wasn't nobody that was snitch on you because everybody was kind of in the same game. But now, you do something like that now, somebody says, oh, you got that, I didn't get that. I'm snitching.
Or you do it, you get caught. The consequences didn't go far.
Right.
Because like we don't have social media, we don't have cancel culture. People keeping a non-professional record
Right.
of you.
Right.
And then the paper trail, the electronic trail
Boy.
says we can track
Boy.
any electronic penny,
Boy.
and we're not dealing with cash no more.
Yeah.
So how you gonna, I'm gonna just change this account number and it's gonna go into my account and nobody's gonna notice that.
Absolutely not.
It may take them a while.
Good
You know
luck.
what I mean? Exactly. It may take them a while, but they're gonna get you some kind of way.
Yeah, and don't assume anything just in life in general. Don't assume anything. You can't assume when you doing stuff, you can't assume that it's gonna be all good or all bad. Maybe a mixture
all
of good
bad,
and
yeah.
bad, you know what I'm saying? And
gotta
a lot
face
of times
each and every
people,
day.
they get in relationships, they assume that this person has their best interest at heart. That's not always true.
Or
You can't assume that, you know what I'm saying?
Or they're super pessimistic,
Yes.
and they assume everybody's out to get them. They want my goodies, or me and they want my money, or
Right.
they want my money and my goodies. And it's not nobody.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta take it day by day, acknowledge the red flags, but you also
Sometimes
have to
people don't
acknowledge the
ask.
green flags.
Yeah, sometimes people just don't ask. You just assume. Instead of asking, you just assume. I thought you was going to go left. Why? What make you think that? Did you
Yeah.
ask me? Of course I'm going to go right. That's what I do, go right. Why you think I'm going to go
I
left?
thought you was gonna give me a steak.
And
You was
you
eating steak.
assuming off of your thoughts, not off the other person, understanding the other person. You're going off of how you do things. That's one of probably our next topic.
And people you assume that,
Right.
but people come from different backgrounds, even though we look the same. We
Right.
come from different
Yeah,
backgrounds,
that's true.
different educations.
That's true.
Different home upbringings.
Oh, yeah.
So
For
she's
sure.
gonna, you're gonna think different.
Like you
know.
can't assume because somebody come from a 2-parent home that they're going to be awesome. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You can't assume because a person come from a single parent home that they're gonna be bad. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. It's like even you're a Christian, but you're a different kind of Christian.
Like people assume because we went to McClellan, we just gonna be thugs. You know what I'm saying? We just gonna be out in the streets, man. So, but that ain't the case because there's some people from Parkview,
Oh,
people
boy,
from
yeah.
Hall. You know what I'm saying? And what? Some people think because you're from Parkview, you just gonna be grand. You know what I'm saying? And this may not always be the case. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is. So moving to our next topic is hearing something and taking it the wrong way. Yeah, that happens a lot.
As you develop, you grow up. We talked about school and the things you learn in school.
Yes.
All right, you have to have that buffer. Like when you hear information, and somebody said something,
Right.
you got to kind of take your emotions out of that. Sometimes
Yes.
because you hear it so fast, you take offense so
Yes.
fast
Yes.
before you get clarity.
Boy, this was it. Ask for clarity before getting offended.
But it's so hard sometimes. You hear it and it's like, what you say about my mama or whatever the
It's just like
situation
with
is.
roasting, right? In high school, you could not take roasting personal.
Yeah,
You're getting roasted.
yeah.
But some people do it. You start doing it, but then when a person better than you, now you get offended. You should have never went up that tree. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You go barking up the wrong tree.
So-
You don't know what's up.
You start that
Boy.
that drama, you start that game,
Man,
and then you hear something that sticks with you for years.
boy.
You remember the time he was talking to me, talking about me on the bus?
Person
Like,
ain't even
bro,
thinking about you no more.
bro, that was 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
When the last time you been on the school bus?
Boy. For real.
You know what I mean? And now that person needs a job, and you still remember that.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's just childish games, but
And sometimes it's just as simple as asking the person, "Can you clarify what you mean by it, so I don't misinterpret what you're saying?"
exactly.
You know
So
what I'm saying?
when somebody says at the workplace, "Well, you're not doing your job," or "Why wasn't this done?"
Right.
You know what I mean? You saying I'm lazy? No, I'm saying this was on your work list,
Right.
and it wasn't done. Like, why is it? You know, you can explain this like, well, like, I didn't get the
Right.
updated list, or
Right.
you know, something can be explained. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And then can you handle the explanation? Because most people know if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. They
Yeah.
don't want to admit it, but they know.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And we talk about this a lot, accepting criticism,
Oh yeah, definitely.
positive and negative. Like, if you're in a training environment,
Yeah.
well, he talk like he know everything. Well, he kind of does because you're being trained. He's your teacher.
Yes.
So what if you're the same age? So what if you
That's
you
true.
were hired before him? This is his expertise.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yours is finance, and his is mechanics. Like,
Yeah,
he's trying to show you
mechanics,
how to build a chair.
Right.
You know what I mean? Well, I got a master's in accounting. It don't
What that
apply
mean?
to
Yeah, what that
this
mean? Yeah.
chair building. You know what I mean? So sometimes you're the student, sometimes you're the teacher.
Right.
Take information like,
Don't ever stop learning. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
You should always learn new skills, man. Don't ever stop learning. Another part is part of communication is understanding. Like, that's the other side of talking. You got to understand what's being said to you. Understand, like, if somebody say something to you, what is they really saying? Because sometimes people may be off, or they may having a bad day, and you can hear by what they're saying. You know, it's like, this is not this person. Usually, they probably just having an off day today. You know what I'm saying? Or, man, everybody had those days where they don't feel like doing nothing too. You know what I'm saying? Everybody had those days, but you got to have the understanding to understand about other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, when somebody back in the day, somebody said, "Man, I'm about to pop the trunk." I understand what that means. You know what I'm saying?
and all that entails.
And I'm probably gonna be gone. You know what I'm saying?
Pew!
Yeah.
And
you know
everybody in my
what
crew like, no, get the sign and get out of there.
I'm saying? Yeah. Somebody said, "Get the strap." I know what that means. They're not talking about a belt. I know what that means.
But that understanding really resonates with me because I'm a big talker. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
definitely.
If you know me, you know I'm talking. But it's just not talking or saying your point or even listening
Yeah.
is not the complete picture of communication. It's understanding.
Right.
Like, I can't tell somebody, I told you this, so I'm a good communicator. You know, I'm good at telling people stuff,
Right.
but I'm not a good communicator unless I make it for them to understand what I'm saying.
Right. Sometimes, yeah,
They need understanding.
being
And
able to break it down at different levels of understanding. Now, there's some people that don't want to understand on purpose. They be
Exactly.
naive. You know what I'm saying? Because if you understand, now you got to be accountable. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. No, they don't want that accountability. So you gotta, even as a talker or presenter, you gotta
Yeah.
know, like, hey, you gotta look at the people you're talking to and be like, well, are they getting this?
Right.
And I've been accused of being a big talker, of not listening.
Me
But
too.
I'm a really good listener. So sometimes I don't hear. People say, well, I don't feel like you're hearing me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not understanding what they're putting out because I'll repeat back to you what I feel like you're saying.
Right.
And they was like, well, that's not it. You know what I mean? Or they will stop communicating. I told you once understood ain't got to be explained. Well, I don't understand. So you need to explain.
And people don't. That's the thing. That's the awesome thing about meeting new people or just talking to somebody. You know, your level of understanding. Sometimes I hear what you're saying, but I don't know if you know what you're saying. If you transcode that to
Yeah.
what you're saying, because you saying, "I don't like this job. They get on my nerves." Da 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 da. And I said, "Okay, I hear what you're saying, but understand if you keep thinking that way, you're gonna slip up and say something or do something out of reaction."
Yeah.
You have to guard your mind with positivity. You have to. Because there's so much negative out here, you know what I'm saying? And all it takes for that negative to creep in your mind, and you slip up just like that.
Yeah, and you gotta like differentiate home talk and work talk.
Yes.
If you can't keep flipping that switch,
Yes.
one day you gonna take that home talk at work,
Boy.
and you gonna say something to somebody, you know,
Yeah.
that that's gonna be a misunderstanding. We'll put it like that.
Yeah, for sure. because that happens all the time. Relationships that happen. A lot of times, that's what you have to learn when you're younger about dealing with the opposite sex, dealing with that communication piece, understanding. It's a woman I'm talking to. I'm not talking to my boy. I struggle with that. I'm used to talking to my homeboys, but talking to women, it was different. You know what I'm saying? A different way of communicating versus talking to one of my brothers or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So,
I tell him 1 or 2 times, maybe give him a code word or a gesture.
yeah.
It's done. He completely understands where I'm coming from, or he'll ask for clarity after we get out the situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Being in a relationship.
Oh man, this dude is like NFL team. We got a huddle, man. We get audible.
Call signs, Omaha,
No
Omaha,
problem.
hot route, reads.
iPhone 16.
You see what I see. Like we can get out of here, you know what I mean? But like dealing with wife, husband, co-workers, they are not on their level, so you have to get understanding.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's one of the hardest part is being on the same page and staying on the same page. That's like the hardest thing sometimes. Because I thought we was right here. We was right here. What happened? You know what I'm saying?
And then in the heat of battle, you go out there. We think we got the same plan, and then stuff start
It's
happening.
kind of like a personal trainer, right?
Yeah.
Your personal trainer, he say, your diet is this. We're going to work out like this. And then a person that's under personal training, they say, why are you eating turkey chicken when we just said your diet is this?
Well, I thought I could have a little.
I can have a little fun. I want to live a little bit. This is not what the plan called
And
for.
you said okay.
Yeah.
You agreed to the
Exactly.
plan that we set out, but you
Right.
still eating churches.
Exactly.
So now we have a misunderstanding of the
Right.
understanding that we just
Not on the
had.
same page, yeah. How do we get back on the same page?
And-
You can fall off. Everybody can fall off the same page, but it's getting back on the same page without getting
or
offended.
acknowledging that, hey, I know we agreed to this. There's no excuses. I deviated from the original plan.
Yes. And then we're talking about communications understanding, right? This is the tip for the youth, middle age, anybody. If you have to ask the questions about yourself and you can't understand, are you asking for the person to give you affirmation, or are you asking, like somebody say, am I lazy? And it's like, you don't know. You
It's
lazy.
like, how do I answer that? I mean, do you want me to be honest?
And yeah, because you be honest,
Or
say,
do you
yeah,
want,
lazy, yeah.
like, from my opinion, you seem lazy. You know what I mean? So
What you
we
mean
can
by that, man? What
we
you
can
talking
get to the
about?
bottom of it. You know what I mean? Maybe you're going to some problems with your mental health. You're depressed, and you know what I mean. Whatever that
Right.
may be. But you don't do things you're supposed to do. You don't do them in a timely manner. You know what I mean. Your self care is lacking.
Right.
It's appearing. You're giving off lazy vibes.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what you are doing.
But people ask you those kind of questions though, and they, it's like you asking me a question like you should know about yourself.
Well, am I fat? I mean, like, you're not fat. You fat, but you're not fat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, well,
Yeah. So how you want me to say that? I mean, you're like slim fit fat.
You know what I mean?
You're not
Like-
fat, but you like slim fit fat.
you know what I mean? You borderline one cheeseburger away. You know what I mean? So like, be prepared for the answers. Sometimes you ask, and a lot of people are lazy about some things. Like, right, understanding.
Yeah.
You want to say something one time. When you're in a relationship, partnership, or you're on the job,
Yeah.
sometimes you're going to have to explain yourself, but people don't want to explain themselves.
Yeah.
Well, what's understood ain't got to be explained. Well,
No, that's
if you're a
assuming.
teacher,
Yeah.
if you're a teacher, you want somebody to do what you need them to do. Sometimes it's not automatic. You know what I mean? You may not have to do this every time, but you got to explain, hey, you're my mate. This is what I'm expecting of you.
Right.
And I'm going to explain this, 2 or 3 times for you to get it. You know what I mean? Because you can't be frustrated in explaining what you want
Right.
from your employee, from your spouse, from your children. I have to tell my son how to, spell words multiple times
And,
before he gets it.
Even in the Bible, I think Paul said, it's not grievous for me to repeat myself, but it's safe for you. Sometimes you have to do it over and over until it burn in, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Until it's etched in there, in stone, and they get it, you know what I'm saying? Like with kids, you have to build those habits. Get up, in the morning, brush your teeth first. Get up in the morning, brush your teeth first. Get up in the morning, brush your teeth first. Okay, Dad, I know what I'm doing now. Okay, you know what I'm saying? You might do that 5 to 10 times.
Well, I don't have to do it. I'm working with adults. You know what I mean? You supposed to know me. Well, I'm not assuming anything.
Exactly.
If I'm getting results that I don't desire,
Right.
I'm going to try to fix the problem on my side. I can't do the work for you, but I can explain it
Right.
or make it simple enough for me because I'm expecting you to do it.
You know what's crazy too, right? Somebody will say to you, they'll say, "Don't talk to me like I'm a kid," but then say, "Why didn't you tell me to do X, Y, Z?" And it's like I'm not for the two adults that's understand they understand each other. There should be things as an adult that you shouldn't have to come at them that way as an adult. I guess
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to say. I shouldn't have to, how I talk to my son. But sometimes it ends up being like that. But when you're humble about it, but at the same time, like, if my son falls asleep in the car, or I can get him up and carry him and take him in there. But if John falls asleep in the car, it's like, yeah, John, hey Jay, we at the crib. Go ahead,
Yeah.
come on. You know what I'm saying?
Or you gonna be in there?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes, you can get that mixed up. It's like, you want, and it's like you're saying you want to be treated like a child, but you say you don't want to be treated like a child. It's like an oxymoron almost.
Yeah, and that's in relationships, and that's with the people you work with
Right,
sometimes.
yep.
When they do things like that, hey, your expertise, you're out of your comfort zone.
Right.
So sometimes I have to break down. Like if he was talking about, fixing a car or putting a car battery in, he can talk to me. He just give me general stuff, like,
Right.
and I can pick up on it.
Right.
But if he's telling me something about his expertise in IT, he's gonna have to break it down.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. My level is a child's level understanding
Right.
about his expertise. So he's
Definitely.
gonna start at the bottom, and he said, "Hey, you do this first." Well, man, why you got to do that? I don't have questions
Right.
for you about your expertise. You're showing me how to do something. But some people have little to no expertise, but then don't want to be talked to like a child, and they not listening.
Right.
You can't get around some stuff.
Because one thing I know about working in IT, right? This is like a general thing, right? A lot of times, that's why you got to have the communication and understanding. Sometimes people put in tickets that something's not working because they don't want to do the work. They're trying to buy more time.
That long
So you got to have the understanding because the person who did that may be like a high-ranking person in the organization.
Yeah.
So you ain't gonna walk in there and tell the CEO that
How you forget your password
exactly.
4 times in 1 week?
Exactly. But at the same time, when you go in there, you know that the CEO did that because he don't feel like doing the work today. So he forgot his password. You know what I'm saying?
The system's freezing up on me, guys.
But you don't have to bust them out because you bust them out, you can lose your job.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be on the Zoom meeting. My camera's not calibrated
'Cause I've
correctly.
had situations that they'll do that, and the manager will be right there by their desk, and then I'll come down there, and the person looking at me like, please don't say that everything cool because I don't want to get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? And that's why people, if you work with an IT person, if you be cool with the IT person, they probably can get you out of some trouble here and there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they can tell your manager, oh, yes, they ran messed up, man.
I see the problem. This cord is not connected
You know what
really
I'm saying?
good.
But if you want to be a prick about it, no, it's a computer fine.
The last diagnostic, it was green checks all the way across.
Yeah. So we're gonna move to this next topic. I was talking about this on one post on there. I was asking people about the different fields to go into. I think we're gonna start doing that on podcasts too. We just start with one field at a time, different fields.
Yeah.
And the first one is that medical career field. And there's so many different paths. I mean, we could be talking for hours. We ain't gonna do that, but so many fields of kids that when they get out of high school, if you want to go into the medical field, why are you going to college too? You can do that while you're going to college, or figure out what you want to go to college for. Work in the medical field first. And then when we talk about the barrier to entry, right, to get into the medical field, some jobs you don't even need a degree to get in there. You know what I'm saying?
You just need it's different levels in that too, non-degree level. So
Right.
it's entry level. You can just start with a high school
Right.
diploma.
Yep.
Like maybe in the CNA, you just need just a little licensing.
Yep.
get the training. You go
Right.
to a class, phlebotomy and things like that.
Yeah, I was a lab courier when I think I was 3 years out of high school. I got a job. Yeah, this tore down. That was Doctor's Hospital. I was a lab courier. Just take blood over to St. Vincent. I mean, it's pretty much that simple. The only part that makes jobs hard is dealing with people on the job, right?
Yes.
And not even in your department. I had people outside of my department, just like some of the craziest stuff. But the barrier to entry, though, you just got to look at these jobs, though, and you got to be prepared. You know, a lot of times, if I would have had more sense, having a suit when you're younger, you don't got to have a bunch of suits, just one suit and a nice pair of shoes. You'd be surprised on how you will fare well in interviews just by having that.
They say you don't have to have one. And a lot of companies, you don't especially the entry level thing.
Yeah.
You don't have to wear a suit. You can wear this or that. But it's better to be over prepared than under
It's like playing the
prepared.
game. Like, you don't have to have a helmet to go on the football field, but it's better if you have one. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
So it's probably gonna work
and it's
out
all
better
about
for.
playing the game. You know, it's all about, like, let's say the corporate game. Do you want to play for real, or do you just want to just get half results? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you want to play down to your competition just because everybody
Right.
is performing on this level, or
Right.
do you want to have your own personal goals and accountability and the level you set for yourself?
Right. And that's the key, right? You know, you want to be able to, you want to be the top dog. I mean, as much as you can. You want to be, score high. You want to have, kind of be like the top quarterback. You know, you might not be the best quarterback, but you're in the top 10. You know what I'm saying? You want to be the top 10 person.
You making other people look bad. They making themselves look bad.
Right. And so when you think about, like, salary ranges, a salary with a diploma versus salary with a degree, I think people don't realize, like, I didn't even realize this till I started working in IT. When you have a degree and you can sell yourself and you have the skills, the salary is like night and day difference, man. Unreal.
Yeah,
You know
but
what I'm saying?
they'll play with that as well.
They will.
But
True.
you know what I mean. That he said a key component. You sell yourself, be able to move around, look and like even if you're with the entry level, you just got a diploma or certification.
Right.
Look and inquire about the jobs or that you're interested in
Right.
the organization. Like he was saying, the health field. Well, maybe you don't want to be a nurse and you don't want to have direct patient care. You
Boy.
can get a degree in other things.
Right.
It's X-ray radiology.
Man.
You see your certifications or degrees or
Right.
what
That's true.
credentials you need for that.
Yep.
With the pay, and then you balance that. Like, okay, is the degree worth the money that I will be paid on the back end?
Right.
Or maybe I want to do in biomed. You know what I mean? Hospital like repair. I fix the X-ray machines when they get broke.
Right.
Because I don't want to be a car mechanic, but I can fix that stuff on the engineering side.
Right.
It's so many things you can actually do. You just research, be curious.
And I tell you kids something, a skill that goes in every field in business is IT. Everybody needs somebody to work on their computers and stuff. Network
everything's.
or network
Yep.
or website, infrastructure, all that. IT is in every field just about. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
Even in a small
Everything-
coffee shop, somebody got to do their internet. Somebody got to set up their APs and stuff like that.
every place you go is being run by technologies like McDonald's, like
Boy.
their cash registers are basically touchscreens.
Yeah,
so
they got
who's
TV
going?
screen menus.
Yeah, so who's gonna fix that when this button don't work,
Right.
or who's gonna design that shortcut with the new meal that they got, the new burger or what they got? You know what I mean? So
Yeah. And before we get ready to close out, I don't think I'm trying to see. We got no battery. That joker went down quick. When you're in school, right, high school, take that time out when you get out of school to really figure out what you want to do when you get out of school, because it's gonna feel like when you graduate, you don't have enough time to do anything. But any idle time that you have, try to make that productive in something so you can figure out some things about, what you want to do when you become an adult. Because you're going to feel like time ain't enough time in the day when you become an adult. Especially when you get a job, like working at a retail place or, like I said, you work in a hospital, you're looking at 12-hour shifts. Then, you go home and go to sleep. You're getting that routine quick. Next thing you know, you're in the routine of working and sleeping. And I think
10
about
years go
boy,
by.
will go by quick.
And then, like, okay, when you get out of high school or college, like some of us have dreams. They have a career in mind. What they really want to do, and some
Right.
of us don't. They just like, well, like, what do I want to do? You know
Right.
what I mean? Try something.
Right.
Just try something.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Don't work out. Try again.
Right.
Maybe related, maybe unrelated.
Right.
But soon as you get started, soon as you get finished, soon as you get started, you will figure out whether you like it or I don't like it. Like,
Right.
what's going on? Like, you're
Exactly.
figuring nothing's a mistake
Right.
when you're trying.
Right.
You're learning about yourself each time you fail.
Right.
Each time you succeed. Sometimes succeeding may feel like a failure because I don't want to do this. I don't want to be a nurse, or I don't want to be I want to be in IT. I don't want to cut hair anymore.
Right.
But the sooner you do it, the sooner you realize you don't want to do it.
And it's better than doing nothing. At the end of the day, it's way better than doing nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're finna get ready and sign out. Like I say, we want to thank the Mugs Coffee Shop in Magenta for letting us record here once again, and appreciate them for that. So anything you want to say before we close out?
No, like, share, subscribe. Any questions, comments, we'll come to you. We'll interview you. If you have an expertise,
And yeah,
skill, talent, trade, just let us know.
And we're about to get ready to start reaching out to other people, bringing other people on. Our schedules are starting to, things are starting to line up. So we definitely finna start scaling up to the next level, guys. So thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. You like to say, like, share, subscribe, and we're signing out.
Peace.